All right, Shalom Makim. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I'd like to say Shalom to the elect that's teaching His word in all true faith and sincerity. And today I just want to tie this lesson, More Evils. What else could we present unto you in this time? As the scriptures say, evil and only evil. And these are the different signs to the end of this world, of this system, this age. And the people who is so invested in this system, this setup, the thing that's presented unto them, which comes from Esau, which is the so-called white man, ultimately it's a snare unto them. And they will be consumed with the plagues as well. Matter of fact, before I read this article, let's start off with scripture real quick. The book of 2 Ezra 15. Is it 15? Right, in 2 Ezra 15 and verse 14, it reads, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." See? So they ain't just talking about because you own the earth. That's concerning those who hang their hat here. That's invested, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. That's what that woe, that destruction is going to fall upon, man. So, let me get this article real quick. Investopedia.com, and it reads, "For some Americans, living paycheck to paycheck is now a luxury." And really, that means reality is setting in, man. Because a great humbling is coming about. These Americans are proud. It's even when you go into these other countries, these foreigners, they can spot an American. It's just the pride is oozing, how they walk and they carry themselves. You can tell an American, But as you can see, that being brought down, that great humbling, just the mindset is changing. Living a paycheck to paycheck is now a luxury, man. And that's the Lord plaguing this place. It says living paycheck to paycheck used to mean that someone was struggling. But for many Americans, it's now a goal. See, yeah, because, you got to push that bill back. You can only do it so many times. You can only put your car in a negative when, it's so much shit you can do. But, it's all an effort to keep your head above water. So you see that, living paycheck to paycheck is now a goal now. Thanks to combination of wage stagnation, inflation, and housing affordability crisis, being able to pay rent, utilities, food, and other bills has become a luxury. Yeah. And it's going to get more intense. You might have to end up tag teaming some bills. You got 10 people in one house, y'all, and putting together trying to attack these bills, because shit is only going to get worse. And I ain't even got to get no more of this. I mean, you just see where it's going. The goals of these people. You think a nigga worried about taking a trip? He trying to make sure the power stay on. And it's only going to get worse, man. Because even these people, they kind of realize shit is going left. They still going. They're not considering that this time is about to be over with. that ultimately this age that we're in is coming to an end. These are the different symptoms. You know, it's a sign that show you that that's where we at. So this the book of Second Ezra. I'm slacking. Jumping the gun. Ecclesiastes 9, and I start at verse 12. It reads, "For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in a snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it follows suddenly upon them." So, as you can see, the Lord comparing these people to prey. You know, and they don't have the awareness. You need to compare them to like a deer that he's aware of his surroundings. You know, he hears something, he smells something funny. You know, even that's saying, something smell funny, and he shoot off. Well, these people don't have the mental capacity. They don't have the wherewithal to understand their surroundings and what's taking place. Especially like these world affairs. Just because something happened on the other side of the earth, they think that that's just over there. It's not going to come to America. But no, that's when all the players are going to be dumped over here. It talks about how it's going to reach its perfection here in Babylon the Great. These people, they don't know that this is that time of evil, man. Your daily routine being broken up, you're able to turn the AC on and have running water. To even now, as we reading the article, nigga just happy that he was able to pay his bills. So you can see the expectations of these people has been lowered. Ultimately, the next step is, just the goal is them to find food because that famine is coming, man. See, ultimately, at the end of the day, as these players continue to, consume America, these people, their doctrine is going to change. They're going to have to call an audible. Their energy, their belief in things is going to have to change because those plagues is showing you that that's not part of the intents and purposes of the Lord. The Lord, his intents and purposes is for not America to continue. That's why we seeing shit falling apart. And it's only going to get worse. So this is that evil time that the Lord is speaking about. Matter of fact, let's go back to that second Ezra 15, because it mentions how from the inflation and all these other things that contribute to this situation, man. So ultimately, these people are gonna lose it because they ain't got shit to. They ain't got shit else. Once you lose it, you lose it. This going back to 2 15, I'll start back at 14 again. It reads, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." See, and that's key. It said them that dwell therein. Those who invested in this place. See, our goal, we don't expect to die here in the pit. Our expectation is for our Lord Yahweh Shai to come deliver us. When that time of trouble and destruction comes. It says, "For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." See? So it said the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. So we at the end of this world. And that's how it's going to be capped out by the way of the sword and destruction. From death, and these different plagues. And ultimately, World War III is going to be the icing on the cake, so to speak. That's going to be the official cutoff you know, of E. It says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. See? So everything is only going to intensify. As you can see, the pride of these Americans, their mentality is changing. The Lord is sending forth that great humbling. Now you have where that goes, a nigga goal was to go get a Hellcat and, you got you a little house, little beach house you can go to. The things that nigga boast in, the things of this world. But now, shit, the goal now, the thing to boast in now is that you can live paycheck to paycheck. We just it's getting tough. Yeah, it's getting tough, but we need this place to go, man. Cause we know through the spirit and power, Yahweh Shema Shai, the grass is green on the other side. We can actually read the scriptures and flip the page and read what happens after America. The Lord have given us that. We got hope. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And we seeing that coming about now. Trump sending forth these troops, to regulate things. And best believe lockdowns are coming, man. Because people gonna lose it, man. Esau gonna have to take control. And he's gonna use his military. It says, for because of their pride, see, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. See, that's what's coming, man. It's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse as we get closer to the perfect day. You seeing niggas becoming more wicked. They coming up with more crazy shit. The trends. It just show you what we at in this process, man. We really at the end, and the Lord is now bringing forth that humbling. That's why I said for because of their pride. And another one of those great humbling is the famine. Matter of fact, let's get some real quick in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8, in verse 3. It reads, and he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger. So that's how the Lord is once again is going to bring forth that humbling. Especially in this here in Babylon the Great, America, which is ran by Esau, Edom, the proudest of all beasts. Of course, the Lord is going to send the famine here. That's one of the fitting plagues, one of the favorite plagues of the Lord. Especially when he sent forth these threats. That famine is going to be part of it. It says, and he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger and fed thee with manna, which thou knowest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man doth not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Lord doth man live. And guess what? We're going to see that when the time comes that, us eating off the word Yahweh Shema Shai, that's going to actually manifest. The Lord's going to feed us, man. He's going to cause us to live. He's going to cause us to escape these troublesome times. But for everyone else that's outside of this, they're going to be consumed with the plagues, man. Going back to 2 Ezra 15, it says, verse 18 again, it reads, for because of their pride, see, shall the city shall be troubled. And one of those things is going to be the famine. That's why even now you seeing the famine is really here. They call it, is it shrinkflation or, these different products, food and shit is really, it's an illusion. You really bought a bag of air with some chips in it. You got chips in your bag of air. You know, you see these big ass bag of chips, and the shit really a quarter filled. You know, the rest of the air. And that's just one example of many. You know. So the famine is really here in a sense. Even that's why you got GMO foods, you got lab grown meat, 3D printed. Why? Plant based, that goofy ass shit. Why is that the case? Show you that there's really not that's not real food. So once the shit really shut down as well, you had these different processing plants to be burned up. Not recalls, but just the place that, you know, the processing plant itself is being burnt down. As well as you have recalls, but everything is intensifying, man. But this is what's coming. This is what's like. This is here, and it's, like I said, it's only going to intensify. The Lord this place is heating up. So America's the lake of fire, man, but it's on preheat right now. Everything heating up. But World War III is going to cement it. The destruction. It says a man should have no pity on his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. See, this is what a buildup is going to come to, man. These people just going to lose it. See, scripture, you within this circle, you in the truth. You're civilized. You upright now. By having this information. But everyone else outside of this is considered a beast. And we're going to see that. We're going to really see that play out once, the lights go out. Once shit get hectic, we're going to see the brute beast within these people. Just like that Snickers commercial, you're not you when you're hungry. Well, we're going to see that. These people are going to act like beasts, from cannibalism to grapes and everything else in between. They're going to bring forth distress and anguish. That's why we just hope the Lord keep us, But, hey, we here, We at the end of the world. And that involves more and more evils, man. So, yeah, I just hope that we're edifying, like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakach, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone. Shalom to the elect that teaches word in all true faith and sincerity. Shalom.